what shaft flex is right for me? That's a question people want to know. Because there's so much hoo-ha about shaft flex, and some of it justified, I would like to tell you right now that majority of golfers are swinging between the 80 to 100 mile per hour zone. And that zone is perfect for a regular on the lower end and a stiff shaft on the upper end. If you fall below the 85, 80 mile per hour range, you want to look at something soft, regular. You want to look at something senior flex. There's no shame in it. The thing about golf is people don't care about what shaft, what club you hit. They're only impressed by the shots you hit. So if the more flexible shaft gets you a better shot, play the more flexible shaft. This is what impresses people. People who know their game, people who know what they need, people who use what they need. Now, let's talk about what's in my bag, just to show you roughly like how I don't even care. This is where the right flex for you comes in. And I want to tell you right now, I don't sell shafts. I don't care what you put in your clubs. What I care for is that you go there with a mind knowing what you want, knowing what not to do, and not to get in a jam where you invest money in something that is incorrect. So my opinion with shafts is majority of people will go to a fitting. They go there and they go hitting a hitting bay in a studio, and they get in a groove of hitting the driver, whatever club they're hitting, without a thought for the consequence of the shot. Therefore, it's your extreme potential speed, your extreme potential strike, because you have nothing in your mind. When you get to the golf course, that swing speed that you've grooved on a hitting mat in a hitting bay is not going to be the same as on the course. So a lot of people may be getting fitted into shafts that may be a little bit too stiff for them. So what you want to do is get there for a couple fittings. You want to go swing at a range where you can see the ball flight potentially. And if you can, if you have a little swing speed monitor like a SC300 or something you could get from someone else to take around with you on the golf course and just to double check your swing speed and how you're doing in real life, it's going to give you a great idea of what flex you need. Now, having said all that, is it really worth getting tied up in knots about what shaft flex you need? It can be. It can be if that's what you believe you need. If you believe that's what you need, you're going to take whatever belief you have into that equipment and you're going to hit the ball accordingly. But if you don't believe too much in it and you think stiff and regular is good enough for you, you can go and pick one straight off the shelf. You're basically going to be okay. You can optimize that and go get it fitted and pick up another 5, 10, 15 yards, and that's up to you. Go to someone brand neutral who's not trying to push a certain shaft onto you. He's trying to push the correct shaft onto you. Having said all that, what I'd like to draw your attention to, and the reason I bring up why we may get fitted into the wrong shafts because of that groove we get into, is that this ping driver fitted by Eric Chong of Malaysia, Impact Golf Malaysia, he's my man in Malaysia. He understood that. He understands how to fit people not based just on their best swing. He does it on your average swing. How are you going to play? And this one is an extra stiff, which is what I should be playing due to my driver swing speed, even on a slower swing. It still fits, but it's an Asian spec Flex X, which means it's a little bit softer than X in the West, which means it's more like a firm stiff, and that's perfect for me. I can hit this driver when I'm playing well or when I'm not playing so well, I haven't played that much. Now that is key. Okay, that's why I'd say go to a brand neutral place. That's Eric. Eric hooked me up with that. Eric knows, and he gave me something that I can use in general play. The prior time I was fitted, someone put me into a freaking 80 gram extra stiff shaft. That did not work at all. It did not work. The ball, it felt like I was hitting a piece of concrete. This one I can feel the head is flexible enough. Then we have what I like to call the ego buy. This one I can hit when I'm swinging really nice and free, but I bought this in COVID lockdown, and this is a 7 Tour X spec Atmos red shaft. So this one I bought because it's a tour head, tour issue head, but it came with this 7, which is 70 gram Tour X stiff shaft. Is that something I can play every day and perform well? Probably not. I need to be swinging really well to shoot good shots with that extra stiff shaft. It's a Tour X. So it's really quite, difficult. But if I'm swinging well, I can do it. But we don't always swing well, right? So the next thing I did is I had a 2-iron which had a stiff shaft. So the 2-iron had a stiff shaft, lower loft, trying to get the ball up a bit quicker, easier. I used the stiff shaft. Then I replaced it with this 7 wood. Now this 7 wood just has a Now people will argue with me because they think they know everything. This is confirmed with Eric Chong, who fits golf clubs in Asia, where I bought this. This is an SR Flex, stiff regular. Please don't tell me it's soft regular. That's in the West. I live in the East. In the East we have stiff regular. Now this is a very soft shaft for me. It's in between stiff and regular. And while it says stiff regular, it is in Asia, so it's probably leaning more toward the regular side than the stiff side. And I love that club. Why? Because that shaft feels workable to me. I can hit a draw, I can hit a fade, I can hit high, I can hit it low, I can hit a tee ball, I can hit it off the tee, I can hit it off the ground. I can punch, I can get through rough, whatever. Now you can see there, I've got an extra stiff shaft, soft X in my driver. I've got a Tour X in my 3-wood, and I have a stiff regular in my 7-wood. How does that make sense? I don't know. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Get fitted as best you can. Otherwise, guaranteed, you're probably part of the 80-90% of golfers who don't need a custom fitting to get a good enough shaft in their game. I have a custom fit driver because my swing speed is over 107, 108 miles per hour. That is where the two extremes potentially can justify a fitting. Once you get to the top range where stiff becomes too flexible, or the bottom range where, well, when a regular becomes too stiff for you. So you want to get fitted, and there's no shame in taking a more flexible shaft. Now what we'll see here as well, what we see here in my irons is that, yes, when I have contact with someone like Eric, he puts me into KBS S plus shafts. He knew that my swing speed on an average day is going to be faster and slower depending how well I'm playing. So if I'm playing well, I can use an extra stiff, but if I'm not playing well though, that's going to be really difficult to play with. So he put me into something between a stiff plus, which is a soft extra stiff, or a firm stiff. It's between stiff and extra stiff. That's worked out great for me. Then in between that, I just have random clubs like a wedge with the NS Pro Modus, which in this one is an extra stiff shaft in the wedge. And then I have another wedge that I just have a wedge flex shaft in that you can make work. Now, the key message here is you can make any of these flexes work. If you roundabout know where your swing speed is and your tempo, you can basically give yourself a regular or a stiff shaft. If you need a custom fitting thereafter, or you need some tips, you should go in for it. And the guy's going to, fit you into something you need. Or if he's a great fitter, he'll say, look, you don't really need anything. You can get something off the shelf and it's going to work fine for you, but you probably need a different brand. So you may be good with an Atmos, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're better with a Ventus shaft. Maybe you're better with some other Fujikura model. It doesn't matter. But the point is that if you need it and you find that it's going to give you peace of mind, it's going to give you peace of mind. If you swing really fast, yeah, find another shaft. If you swing really slow, find another shaft, to help you with keep the distance up, to help you keep enjoying golf. Generally though, stiff or regular shafts are going to be perfect for most golfers.